I'm going to share exactly how you can land a job at big name companies like Google, Facebook, Tesla, L'Oreal, Delta Airlines before you even graduate college. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps that I did as an engineering grad just 2 years ago to help me land a job in this market because it's tough. And hopefully by following it, you can land a job in this market as well and become successful in your own way. It's just about knowing where to go for these internships, how to get them, and what you need on your resume and how to craft it in order to kind of sell yourself to these recruiters. Because the truth is these jobs are way more attainable than you think, and sending out 200 applications just for no response is not the way to do it, and you're gonna get burnt out so quick. So let's break it down by starting off in freshman year, what you should have done or can do. And if you didn't do this, don't worry, there's no perfect recipe for this. I'm just sharing what I did. So your freshman year is all about laying the foundation. I think everybody knows that. And it's just about really getting and feeling what you want to do in your career. You should be figuring out what you're good at and what you actually like, because you don't want to waste 4 years in a degree that you actually don't want to do anything with. Freshman year is not the time to be stressing about how to get that perfect internship. It's about gaining experience and getting things in your tool belt to set you up to get internships easier down the line. The first thing you can do is get some work experience. Even if it's not directly aligned with your major, having some type of work experience on your resume helps out a lot. Some ideas of what you could do are being a campus brand ambassador, working part-time on campus or off campus, or even doing content creation if you're kind of doing and focusing more on like the analytics side of it, maybe. I think if you go into content creation with a strategy, if you're a communications or a marketing major, that might help in terms of what you're doing for companies or what you can do for your own personal brand. But try gaining skills that are digitally focused or digitally based. I think that will help you a little bit more down the line when it comes to what these companies are looking for. The second thing is really important, but it's just as basic as focusing on your grades. This is the opportunity where you're in the gen ed classes. This is your time to pad your GPA as much as you can. Try to get A's and B's in these classes. If you're in a class that's like film or something like that, and that's not associated with your major and you don't do well in it, it is what it is. It happened to me. But try to focus on padding your GPA, because later down the line, when you're taking the hard classes in your major that you're not doing so hot in, these will act as a cushion for you. And the last thing I would say to do your freshman year is just join clubs and network as much as possible. These clubs are just to see what you like and where you see yourself doing, what friends you like hanging out with, what things you can do in terms of professional development within these clubs. But I think it's more beneficial if you tailor these clubs to what your major actually is, because you can get a little bit of insight from upperclassmen of what they did, and maybe they have some advice or some tips for you so you don't make the same mistakes they did. For me, the goal for your sophomore year is to land your first internship, either that summer or even during the semesters of your sophomore year. This is really important to get some actual technical skills in an internship for a company. It doesn't have to be a big company, but just for a company that actually does a lot of stuff where you can get a lot of skills that you need. And companies start recruiting for internships, like summer internship, as early as fall the year before. So you have to be ahead of these things. So the first thing you should be doing your sophomore year is applying to internships and being flexible with what those internships entail. In an ideal world, the internship that you get matches with your major, but that might not be the case, and that's fine. You just need to get some type of technical internship under your belt. And the job market is tough, so you can't really be picky with what type of internships you actually want to do. If you're too selective, you're actually gonna end up not really getting what you want, especially when you have nothing really under your belt in terms of something related to your major. And speaking from experience, I was an industrial engineering major. I could not get an internship in that field or even in any engineering field at all. And it's fine, sometimes it just happens. But I was able to get an internship in digital marketing and analytics. It's not related to my field at all, but it helped me build the foundation in analytics, which is what I wanted to do. And that was just about kind of networking and trying to see what companies were offering. And it really just have to pitch yourself, because before all I had was cashier experience. And I think most companies understand that when you're young, that you don't really have that much, in-house company experience in like technical roles, which is fine. But for me, it was just about getting some type of internship under my belt for 3 months where I can actually prove, hey, I was able to increase these metrics by and have that on my resume. And that growth will help you, especially if you help the company like improve on something or optimize something. That will really be a big advantage for you when you come to pitch yourself to these bigger companies, because they want to see that you can actually come in and help them grow. And the second thing is, once you're in those clubs that I talked about that you kind of saw a little bit into your freshman year, once you're in those clubs, you get a little bit more rhythm, a little bit more confidence. But most of those clubs or societies have a convention, like a national convention that you can go to every year. And that's where the top companies actually go to start scouting out for potential candidates they want for these roles. So they don't look at your resume. I mean, sometimes they do look at your resume, if you just blindly send it through a job application portal that they have. But most of the time, these companies, like top dog companies, are going to these conventions to get the people that they want. Because at these conventions, they can meet you face to face. So they know that the students coming in are of a certain caliber and they want to be there and they're presenting themselves well with, experience and work that they've done in the past. So they're a little bit more willing to take a risk on you, even if you don't have that much experience in the major that you're doing. So for me, I was a part of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, which is SHEP. There is NSBE as well, which is the National Society of Black Engineers as well. There's a bunch of other engineering clubs you can join, but a lot of these engineering clubs, I can speak on that, they had these national conventions you can go to and speak one-on-one with a recruiter and basically, pitch yourself to 50 companies that are there and show a little bit more of your personality than they would ever see if you just submitted that resume blindly through a thing. And it's all about, and this goes, post-college too, but it's all about who you know and who inside the company can kind of vouch for you to get a job. That's the same thing regardless if you're in 10 years, or if you're in 1 year into the corporate world, or if you're in 30 years. It's all about who you know and who can vouch for you to actually get the role. And being at these conventions helps you out 100%. Now the thing with these conventions are that they can get really pricey, especially when it comes to traveling and getting there. Sometimes if you're in the club, they give out discounted tickets, so that helps you out a little bit there. And sometimes some schools can sponsor your trip if it's for, like professional development. But just know that going into it, it's gonna be a little bit pricey, so try to save up where you can. I know it's a little bit tough. Maybe if you have some extra scholarship money on the side or sign up for scholarships through like Scholar Owl or things like that, that will help you out. But I think that these types of conventions are worth it to go to because of the types of companies that are there that you can talk to and that are more willing to take a risk on you being there, especially as a sophomore, maybe even a freshman if you want to try to wing it on that, than you would be if you just sent a resume into the cloud of everything and hopefully you get picked by the AI system, And the secondary piece too, when it comes to applying to jobs and going to these conventions, is you want to apply to the job, like look for the companies that are going to be there, right? So let's say Tesla's going to be there, or Honeywell's going to be there. If you want to be at those types of companies, right, look on their job portal, see if there's internship postings already up, apply to those, right? Put your resume in for those and then see, or not see, but when you go to the convention and you're talking to the person, the recruiter one-on-one, mention that you already applied to the position, give your name and give the job, the job ID for that specific role. And they might write it down, because they're gonna take your resume, like it's a piece of paper. They might write down that on the piece of paper that is your resume, but it gives them something to go back to and be like, oh, I liked you. I liked what you had to say about your role, I like your experience. And even if you didn't have the experience, I liked your personality, I just like talking to you. So let me look you up in our system and see where you applied. Oh, your application's here. I can look at a little bit more in depth here and see if you're actually a good fit for it, and I'll push it along further, right? So it makes it easier on their part to be like, oh, I like this person. I'm just gonna look up their resume in our portal. Okay, let's push it along, right? Rather than, hey, I like this person, but they haven't even made an application for it. I don't even know where to start looking for them, and then you kind of get lost and stuff. So make sure you apply to the roles before you go to these conventions, so it makes it easier on HR's end to look for you if you do well in an interview. So ideally, your sophomore summer, you get some type of internship. If it's in your major, that's great. If it's not, that's fine. Hopefully there's some transferable skills that you are able to find in that role that apply to what you want to do in your future internships when they're in your, focus in your major. But that's the goal for sophomore year, just get some type of technical experience under your belt. Going into junior year, you want to basically build on that momentum. And now that you got that first internship under your belt, what you could do, right, you're starting to figure out what you like, but there's two paths, right? You can either continue with a return offer to work at that same company the following summer or fall or spring if you have one of those, or you can use that as leverage to get a bigger internship or a bigger named company internship by doing the same thing. So going back to the convention if you can afford it. And when I say go to the convention again, I'm not saying you have to go every year, right? It's expensive. I did not go, I only went one time, and I did 5 years, and I went in my senior year to the convention. And I think it helped me a little bit more because I had a lot more experience under my belt, which was that digital analytics one that I had. So for me, I only went one time, and I think paid off right, and it was good. But if you go every single year, just know it's going to be expensive, especially if it's not located anywhere near you or if it's across the country, for those types of things. So just be prepared for that. But that's not saying you can't get an internship elsewhere, right? Now, when we look at your senior year, right, what you should be doing is trying to secure a full-time role. So during your internship, you're either talking, constantly networking within the company to see, hey, just meeting as many people as you can, try to get a return offer, right? Sometimes they're competitive with return offers where they have more interns than they have offers available. You're just gonna have to fight for your spot when it comes to those, but try to network as much as you can within those companies to where if you don't get a return offer, there's still somebody that can vouch for you to want you on their team once you graduate, right? Because once you graduate, you kind of fair game to the industries of what you want to go into. But within that, that's what you want to do. And again, you have to make sure your GPA is on lock. It doesn't have to be a perfect 4.0, but most companies kind of want around like a 3.4, 3.5 and above. Some actually have criteria that you have to meet in order to be eligible for internships. Like you have to have a certain GPA to be eligible for an internship. And another thing, when it comes to experience, especially your freshman, sophomore, or junior year, if you can't get an internship, that's fine, right? Don't freak out about it. But what you can do is figure out through those clubs or through other things, try to get leadership roles in the clubs. That helps out a lot. Try to get project experience. A lot of these clubs, especially for engineering ones, allow you to work on projects where you either are working on coding or there's hackathons you can join if you're in computer science. And our computer science is a really saturated market right now, but hackathons I think are a great way to get involved and try to see what you can do and try to prove your skills out there, especially if you place well in those. But just trying to get anything that, if you can't get a work experience related thing, try to get something within the school that's a program within one of the clubs or societies you're a part of to help you get a little bit more backbone in showing what you can do for companies, right? That's what they want to see. It's basically, one, are you going to fit well at this company culture-wise? But two, when you come in, are you actually going to be able to do what you say you can do for us, right? So having numbers and having metrics on your resume of things that you've actually helped grow and like optimize is a big win for you, because it helps you sell yourself easier to these companies and pitch yourself of like, hey, like I have a proven track record of what I can do for you, right? And that's what they want to see. So basically, to wrap everything up, is be intentional when you're in college, right? I think college is a great place to explore what you want to do with your life in terms of career opportunities, right? You don't have to have it all figured out, but not knowing what you want to do and not actioning on that, like not getting internships because you don't know what you want to do yet, is not the way to go. Because basically what's going to happen is you're going to graduate and there's going to be no opportunities for you because you don't know what you want to do. And then it's even going to make you less know what you want to do in the future. So treat internships as a way of seeing what companies do you want to work for, right? What kind of jobs do you want to work in? What kind of work do you want to do? And test out a little bit and see what you like and see what you don't like. And by the end of it, if you did college right in a way, no matter how long it takes you, it took me 5 years, but if you do college right, you're a little bit closer to figuring out what you want to do by the end of it. And that allows you to be more strategic about what companies you're applying for. So you're not applying to 200 jobs at companies you don't want to be with. And hopefully throughout the way, you've also built your network as well to help make that job application process a little bit easier for you. And yeah, I hope your job search, whether it's for an internship or a full-time role, works out well for you. If you like this video and found it helpful, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.